waiting for her husband, and a Valentine's Day gift perhaps, as Matt Hardy set to go one-on-one tonight with Perry Saturn here on SmackDown, and it has been a bizarre, a wild, and exciting SmackDown thus far.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring accompanied by Jeff Hardy and Lita from Cameron, North Carolina, weighing in at 217 pounds, Matt Hardy.
Well, a big score to settle the night, King, for Matt Hardy of the Hardy Boys. And Lita got her way. She's accompanied Matt to ringside.
The LEGO WWF SmackDown is brought to you by Leader Sports Nutrition, a dynamic muscle builder packed with protein, carbs, and amino acids to nourish your muscles. Get Leader.
Well, does Jeff Hardy know what he's getting into tonight? The tag team specialist going into the Intercontinental title match against one of the best in the business, Triple H.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Championship. Introducing first in the ring from Cameron, North Carolina, weighing in at 221 pounds, Jeff Hardy.
Well, Taz, earlier tonight, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin riling up the crowd when an incensed Jeff Hardy came from out of nowhere with a steel chair and took down the game in Stone Cold. Revenge for the attack on Lita and Jeff's brother's match from Raw Monday night.
And a twist of fate on Stephanie.
For the Intercontinental title.
What a reversal.
These superstars are putting on a great match so far, JR. But if they drop the ball, these fans will let them hear about it.
I don't think that's going to happen, King. These competitors know that their paychecks come straight from the WWE fans. Did you see that? Ring the damn bell. You can't let somebody get away with that.
I don't think the ref saw it, JR. And if the ref doesn't see it, it's not illegal.
This is a classic matchup, King. I'm so glad the WWE fans are getting the chance to see it.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I'm getting to see it too, JR. I just wish they'd pick up the pace a little.
Oh, no. This is classic old-school wrestling at its finest. You, of all people, should be able to appreciate that, King.
Wait a minute, JR. You're not trying to say that I'm old, are you?
Of course not, King. Although there was that rumor going around about your Social Security number was 1.
I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of sports entertainment.
I know that, JR. I'm just saying that this has been a great match so far.
It has indeed, King, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out.
Wow! Look at that! Looks like all those fans just got front row tickets.
There's not a better seat in the house for this action, that's for sure.
Look at this! He's going for it!
Stone Cold Stunner! Stone Cold Stunner! Can you believe it? Good grief! I don't care how tough you are. A chair shot is a chair shot.
And you can't take too many of those and expect to continue. It looks like they've slowed the match down a little. And I think that's a good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anywhere. Oh, man! That'll leave you hurt for certain!
You're not kidding, JR. That'll leave your head ringing for sure. After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure. Oh, my, he's bleeding! That's an unfortunate side effect of this very physical competition.
An unfortunate side effect? JR, this is what it's all about. Beating your opponent to a pulp.
I'd like to think there's a little bit more to it than that, King. These are professional athletes, not street thugs. Wow! My God! That foreign object is certainly being put to good use.
It sure is. I wonder if the manufacturer ever thought it would be used like that.
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well, then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse maneuver.
I'd be surprised if this didn't end soon, JR. I don't think there's enough left in the tank.
What a shot! I don't think that was ever meant to be used like that.
Come on, JR. Everything in WWE is meant to be used like that.
That table's about the last thing you want to get hit with.
I guess it's better than being put through the table, but not much. Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those
Look out! Straight into the announce table.
And look at this! That monitor cable is wrapped tight around the neck!
Listen to the crowd, JR. I think they've got something to say to these superstars.
And if they're smart, they'll listen. Remember, without these fans, these superstars are out of a job.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, Keith. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is settled once and for all.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing, King? Looks like turnabout is fair play.
It's like he read his opponent's mind. This match has the potential to be an instant classic, but I think these fans are too stupid to realize it.
How can you say that, King? How can you insult the intelligence of these WWE fans?
Well, I heard that we gave them an IQ test, and the results came back negative.
Folks, I've got to apologize for the King here tonight. He must have gotten up on the wrong side of somebody else's bed. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's a reversal.
This is a great old-school move, JR. Using that ring rope to cut off your opponent's breathing.
I don't know how great it is, King, but it's a tried and true method for wearing down your opponent quickly. That's for sure.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself. Just all the same to you, King.
Look at this, JR. Can you imagine SmackDown putting on a match half as good as this?
Disrespect intended for SmackDown colleagues, but no, I can't, King. I truly believe Raw is the dominant brand in sports entertainment.
And you hit the nail right on the head there, JR. The dominant brand. Not the slightly better brand or the sort of superior brand.
Absolutely not. I'm a Raw man. And I have to believe we're head and shoulders better than the competition.
You won't get any argument from me, JR. SmackDown's the minor leagues as far as I'm concerned.
I've got a feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas, JR.
Well, I did have some good old Oklahoma barbecue before tonight's show, but I don't think that's it.
I think I know who's going to win this match, but I don't want to say it. I'm afraid I'll jinx it.
Come on, King. Don't tell me you're superstitious.
Of course not, JR. I'm not superstitious because I know that's unlucky. JR's not going to be happy about this one, folks. I think one of his favorites is going to get beat like the proverbial government mule.
I'm not playing favorites, King. I might have issues with certain superstars as human beings, but I respect their in-ring abilities nonetheless.
JR, you're so full of it that you've got diarrhea of the mouth and constipation of the brain. I think these superstars are getting some feedback from the crowd, JR.
Nothing wrong with that, King. That's what we like to hear. I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars...
You're putting a lot on the line when you climb that turnbuckle.
There you go! Right through the table.
Team Extreme.
The following tag team contest is scheduled for